Scott Talley at the worldwide headquarters of Network in Action. I get to say that now because we're with Dr. Vishnu Doerga in Guyana and Suriname, finally in another country, thanks to you. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
Great.
Thank you.
Good to see you. So Dr. Vishnu, you are an action coach by trade. You are a connector by life. You have a lot of connections in your home city there in Guyana. So talk a little bit about when you heard about Network in Action, what was your, what was at the forefront of your mind and why you wanted to include this in your portfolio?
So we have a lot of one-on-one clients, and I became aware through my coach who's in Houston, Texas. He introduced me to Moose, but back then you guys were not international as yet, and I was really looking for a way to create community, but creating community that doesn't rely so much on me at my company. And I really love the model that you guys have because to a large extent, we are only needed for the second Wednesday of the month. Almost everything else is provided by NIA. And that's really the model that what I like most about the model. So that really attracted me, and the community, it's as good as the time invested. And I like that the agenda is very focused. We get the results out of it. People come early, people stay after, so they help with the community building themselves. So that's really something that stood out to me, and it's really a tool for community building. That's the initial thing that attracted me to Network in Action.
Yeah, and it should complement your coaching practice, right? Isn't that the ultimate goal?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of folks who are not yet ready for one-on-one coaching. And we have other programs, but nothing that was at the correct price point with the amount of value that we could have placed that bucket in that wouldn't be ready yet for one-on-one coaching. Now, with NIA, we do have that option, a very easy option.
Yeah, awesome. So you're taking your experience and defined skill sets, and you even have a team of people working on this, which is really cool. So you have a lot of value you're offering the business community in addition to the networking.
Yeah. We do, business development via our marketing platforms. We have a large training company. We have a recruiting company. We have an ISO certification company. So again, our job is to really make sure that my country and my region moves from being a developing region to a developed region. And the only way we can do that is by adding the needed business development services.
Yeah. Would you say in your country, what is the closest thing to it? I mean, is there anything at all?
I think the closest thing would be the Chamber of Commerce. However, it's not as structured. You have volunteers running the meetings, and so sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, certainly not industry exclusive.
Not industry exclusive.
No one's holding people accountable to actually make sure you're passing referrals and helping each other, those kind of things.
None of that exists in our country.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's thinking about, whether they've just gotten their business started or they've had their business for a little while and they're thinking about networking? Where would you place the importance on that for them?
If they just got started, the most important thing is to start building some relationships so people can understand what you do. They themselves may be able to use you, or they feel comfortable enough to refer you to their friends and family and business acquaintances. So getting into a network that allows you those connections, I think, is of utmost importance to a company that's just started or looking to grow.
Yeah. Help me out here. I think for young people, and I know you have a population there that wants to own their own business and be very entrepreneurial. I think for young people, they're so used to sort of a microwave popcorn kind of society where everything happens so fast that they don't understand the true value of the time commitment. But talk a little bit about the value that it can pay having a big network.
Well, I think I myself and our company are good examples of that. I started my business when I was 19. Fortunately, I had a mentor at a very young age who explained to me that your network is going to determine your net worth. So I took every single opportunity to build those relationships in the absence of solutions like NIA. So I had to do the hard way. However, the past 20 years of networking has allowed me to amass a significant network. So to the youngsters who want the popcorn method, if they figure out how that works, I'll love to be their student. But as of today, I haven't found that to be very successful. So it's still, what I would encourage them to do is to be as efficient as possible. The way I did it is probably hard work compared to a solution like NIA, where you already have 20, 30, 40 curated CEOs in a room who are meeting with the intent of building strong relationships. That's the easy way. It's the smart way.
Yeah.
I would recommend that.
So I know you've only gotten started with Network in Action, but you've been networking a long time, as you mentioned. What do you think is the future of networking? How do you see it evolving, or what do you see different about going forward?
If I look very far into the future, then I see Star Trek stuff happening where you and I could just get teamed up and we go have our networking session on a different planet just for that purpose. Maybe NIA Pluto or something.
Yeah.
And we do our meetings and be
Metaverse first and then Mars.
Right. Other than that, I do see that technology will become more pervasive. The tool that we have in the app, for example, makes it so easy to connect folks and keep track of all the connections made as well.
Yes.
So I do see that technology will become more pervasive, but we're still human beings. And I think COVID proved that.
That's right.
Although we had developed so much means of continuing communication, in the absence of in-person networking, people were really, really happy to be back in person and meeting each other. So I think that will not go away, but we do need to supplement it with the needed technology that will continue to evolve.
Yeah, and we've already experienced firsthand in sort of the future of networking with our Network with the Nations call. So once a month, obviously, we get together for an hour and a half and people get to network. And if I'm not mistaken, we already have a gentleman from Texas in the oil and gas business headed down your way to meet with some members there who potentially can help each other. And that all happened on a Zoom call, right?
Yeah, and it might be one of the biggest deals for our country because that deal is likely to be able to bring a really big provider in the US to our country. And again, it all happened on a Zoom.
Crazy. I know it's only been a few months since you got your group started, though in total transparency, Dr. Vishnu went from 0 to 100 faster than 130 other franchise owners. So not only did the model work in a foreign country, but he went faster than anyone's ever gone in America. So hats off to you. But tell me a success story you've already heard about, maybe other than the one I just mentioned. Has there been a success story within the group?
Well, I think definitely for our accounting member, he's been able to solve so many problems for the members of the group. We have an accountant, we have a lawyer. And what happens is that in many cases, people don't trust a new accountant or a new lawyer very fast. But because they're in the same NIA group, and that level of trust between them and myself as a community builder, but also themselves and an organization is already present, they're more open to discussing the problems that they're facing. So many of our members have been able to get really good advice from our accountant, from our lawyer who's in the group. And it has allowed those members to not just grow their businesses, but also, to start referring each other much faster. So I think that is a big success because had that not happened, people would have still been struggling with the accounting and legal issues that their business was facing.
Yeah, it's interesting, in the old history of networking, people talk about the amount of time, 2 years to know, like, and trust. And under our model, that's expedited because the people that came into the group early that trusted you then see the quality of people you're bringing. And all of a sudden, that whole passage is is cut in by a tenth. I mean, it's all of a sudden, hey, I trust Vishnu and I know he's going to do me right with the other people in the group. And all of a sudden we're doing business together. Well, what would you say to someone who's thinking about buying a franchise? You've now bought at least 2 with your action coach and network in action. Give a person looking at franchising a little coaching.
Well, you basically have 2 routes. Either you build something from scratch, or you buy a proven business model. If the thing that you're thinking about really doesn't exist, and that would really have to be something unique under the sun, it's likely that someone else has already figured it out, and someone else has already invested a lot of time, energy, and money developing the brand, developing the systems and the like. So if nothing like that exists, I think, starting from scratch, you don't really have another option.
Right.
But if you are pursuing something that you're passionate about, I wanted a really good community building tool that developed relationships. And as I did the research, I found out that, hey, this exists and the model is evolved. If I were to start this from scratch, it'd probably take me 5-10 years to get to the point that NIA is today. And I can think about it and say, well, yes, I'll do it myself and I'll own 100% of it. But it will take me 10 years to get there. Versus I can start today and I can start benefiting my community immediately using the tools.
And you did. I mean, it was like 75 days. You had how many businesses involved with you?
Over 30.
Over 30. I mean, crazy. And now they're with you. So fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell anybody listening, like, your happiness, satisfaction with the money you're making based on the work you've put in, on a 10 being great and 1 being you wish it was better.
Yeah, I'm a doctor in strategic management, so I only pursue 10. So in this case, this is a 10.
And in terms of your ability to still control your schedule and work on your action coach and the many other things you have going on, you have 1 to 10.
Yeah, so I would say a 10 as well, because as you mentioned earlier, I do have a team. And so the team everyone is focused on their specific area. I would recommend to new franchisees coming in, consider starting off with a business plan, which includes a team. Because if you're really it doesn't mean that you couldn't do it all on your own. If this was the only thing I did, well, yes, I probably would have time to do the admin and the finance and the marketing and the program. But I prefer to work like a surgeon. And for me, the surgical part of Network in Action is me showing up on the second week of the month for 90 minutes. Everything else, I have team members who can focus on that. And of course, as a business owner, one of our responsibilities as a business owner is to create employment. Why be a business owner that only benefits themselves or yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
Create employment. Other people can also benefit from you being in business.
I know you're in the coaching space because you enjoy helping people. On a 1 to 10, last question, how does this feel in terms of the value you're giving back to your country and the people that are trying to build their businesses?
Again, it's a 10. It's a 10 because we really want to, the more people come together, the more synergies are derived, the more they help each other, the more the businesses get efficient, the more they earn, the more taxes they pay, the faster my country grows. So I haven't seen the downside as yet.
Yeah, it's awesome, your vision. I know that right away when I heard you talk before we ever partnered, I was attracted to the fact that, this wasn't for you and your wife so much. You understand better than most that the money will follow, but that you really can make an impact in your country, and you're doing that. And it's so cool to me. For us, Network in Action, our first country to go to is not like a developed nation like Australia, or, we're not in the UK. We're here making a difference. And I'm looking forward to getting down there and meeting all the people and meeting you personally. So thank you so much for taking some time today.
Welcome. It's a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.